Can somebody get a phone book for Michelle to sit on? A phone book?
You're still not nervous, are you?
No, I'm not nervous.
That was so funny. It's the first time you ever told me you were nervous before a show.
Okay.
I think you would be professional. This is like our 8th season.
We're ready to roll here. This is Stand Up Memories, and this is Jackie Martling. I'm Peter Bales, and what a guest we have this podcast. A former New York City detective, narcotics in the Bronx, and now terrific...
Narcotics in the Bronx.
In the Bronx, and now stand-up comedian, now terrific stand-up comedian. How do you go from being a detective in New York City to being a stand-up comedian?
Everybody knows that stand-up comedy is one of the scariest things in the world, but not compared to being a detective in the Bronx. I mean, it must be like a walk in the park to step on the stand-up stage, right?
Her name is Michelle Durante, and here she is. Hi, thank you, Michelle, for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me, Peter Bales.
And
Jackie.
Thank you for your service as a detective, and I guess as a comic too. But
and happy birthday. It's your birthday tomorrow.
It absolutely is.
Jackie
Thank you very
has
much
a birthday.
for knowing that. You overheard me talking.
No, because honestly, I'm a big fan of Jackie the Joke Man. I used to listen to you on Howard Stern in the morning on NBC.
Did you tell her?
I did not tell her to say that.
No, I used to listen on the Long, I went on the Long Island
her
Railroad. Honestly, on the Long Island Railroad, and I had my Walkman on. I had the radio on because, you know, I worked like for a living when I was in college. I worked, so I had the radio. And I would be laughing so hard.
Oh, that's great.
And people wouldn't know because that whole concept was brand new. And that's when they would be playing cards and you were allowed to smoke and the guy would come in and make it a smoking car if he felt like smoking.
Wow.
It was a free-for-all. But yeah, I used to listen to it all. I love Jackie the Joke. But it's actually this is an honor for me. I didn't want to tell you that, Peter.
No, well, and you, no thanks to him, you were smart enough to save that. So that was a real thing that just happened. Imagine if that had happened before.
No, it
and
was...
then we would have had to do your
it's a real thing.
Recreation, what's it called?
Yeah,
a reenactment.
The illusion of the first time.
The illusion of the first time.
Now, Michelle...
A lot of girls had to do that.
Michelle started... Michelle started out coming to Stand Up University, my comedy class that I plugged.
And I'm still talking to him 13 years later.
So often. StandUpUniversity.com, the place to go when you want to start out
Did you see that?
Comedy.
I got a compliment before you worked in your stupid plug for your stupid comedy university.
No, it's a wonderful university.
Thing, and I love them.
And Michelle, how long have you been doing stand-up now?
I think 12 or 13 years.
12 or 13 years.
It's like a Ponzi scheme.
It's like a Ponzi scheme.
Did you just stop being a detective and do comedy, or did you retire, or did you have a burning desire to be a comic when you were a cop?
I think I did. I think all along, like when I was growing up, I used to watch the original Saturday Night Live, but then I used to watch Second City TV. Like that was hysterical.
Yeah.
And I always used to watch Rodney Dangerfield on HBO because that's when Cablevision just started.
So you knew you had the bug burning away.
Oh yeah, and you know, but I never. There's no handbook how to go about it. I mean, I went to college and there's no handbook on how to further your career in advertising when you're, you know what I'm saying?
Right,
so
right.
There's no, so.
You're on your own.
You are, so this is actually a godsend because, you know, I see a lot of people that don't have any direction, even if they just buy a book.
Buy a book, take a class. Going on your own is tough.
It is tough, and I give people credit. And I see guys that, you know, they go on their own and they get it after a while, but it's
you bump into this and bump into that,
but this saves you all that bumping.
Now Michelle is very fortunate, Jackie, because she
took your stupid course.
That's not what I was going to say.
I don't
StandUpUniversity.com. But what I was going to say is she naturally found a hook. Rodney's is probably the most famous one. I don't get no respect. But here she is, retired from the New York City Police Department, and also openly gay. And we had so much fun with that in the class, and her act is fun. You make it fun, right?
We make it fun. We try to
Okay.
make it as fun
And you like to laugh about that situation.
Oh, of course.
You were one of the first female New York City police officers. There weren't many women when you started in the NYPD.
When I started in 1989, no. As a matter of fact, there was no female captains yet. And then
Were you out when you were?
probably, yeah. I mean, I was 24 when I first started the job, so I was finding my way, so to speak. And then
So
I found it real quick.
So the cops knew.
Oh yeah, and they were real cool about it. Nobody ever from 1989 till when I retired, nobody ever gave me a hard time. Nobody, you know, I'm
Good.
sure maybe
What-
behind
now,
my back.
Forget sex. Forget about orientation. Was your size ever a problem?
No.
You're a little person.
Yeah. What the
I'm
deal
sure you're
is?
tough as nails, but
I mean, I remember my field team when I was in narcotics. We were in a building, and my sergeant was tall. He was like, I mean, everybody's tall. He was like 6'7", and he said, "You got this?" And I said, "Of course." And the guy had his keys in his hand, and I could just see him start. And I'm in the hallway by myself. I go, "Dude, you better drop the keys, man." And he drops them, and then he said something, and I go, "Dude, I'm 5 foot, and you look at you, twice the size of me. No grand jury in the world's going to indict me, bro." And he went like this.
But actually,
So we joke. That's another thing. Like, we joked around. You know, when we locked people, we arrested people. We treated them the right way, but we would joke around with them. We locked up the same guy every day for 5 days. Every single day we're like,
again.
dude, come on, bro, go to the other corner. Go to the other field team.
wow.
Yeah.
Actually, your height was a problem once when you went to Coney Island.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So I was.
You couldn't get on the parachute jump?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, the guy got away. He ran away, stole a chain or something like that. And he got on the what is that? The Cyclone.
The Cyclone.
Yeah, the Cyclone. Got up there and I couldn't even get on.
She didn't make the height
I
requirement.
didn't make the height
I
requirement.
thought you
no.
were making a joke.
No.
No.
Oh, my
great.
goodness.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez, that's funny.
Yeah.
That's a scene from a movie.
That is so funny.
Yeah, they used to do a lot of, like, we would have fun. They played jokes on me and stuff like that.
They would. Like what? What would they do to you?
All
They
right,
played
one time-
jokes on you?
All right, so, yeah, but so one time, this was in when I was in narcotics, so they put a blow-up doll in my locker. So when I opened it up,
But they meant they liked you.
they did like me, and the
yeah.
joke's on them because I still have her. She was a good, she's good.
Do you ever loan her out?
No, not since COVID.
That's
So
great.
watch this, Jack.
That's
So you recently went on vacation to a hunting lodge in Canada, but that turned out you weren't thrilled with the place.
No, it was I made a mistake because when I read the brochure, it said the woods were loaded with beaver. It was a horrible vacation.
That's so great.
it's just fun.
Oh, that's funny.
And you the way you combined, being gay and being in the New York City Police and all the issues, it's fun. It's
Now, when
nice.
you were part of the force or the team, were you like the only woman?
Oh yeah, it was usually just A lot of times I was. We were lucky because they always had me on the team. So
Was you and a partner, or you and
we
three
worked
other
as
guys? or
when
you-
we worked in narcotics, we worked in a module concept. So we were like a family. We were legitimately like a family. So from 7 in the morning or 6 o'clock in the morning till 10 o'clock at night for 5 days a week, we were together every single day. And then when the sergeant goes, there's overtime on the weekend, we all did it as everywhere. We went everywhere together
Wow.
like a team. And then at one point, but it's nice because we all looked down, everybody would
I'm
get
sure
on each
they
other's
super
nerves.
had your back.
Yeah, and we all, everybody had everybody's back. It was stuff. It was fun. Like, we had a good time. We had half the time the equipment didn't work, but we didn't want to tell the undercut. My Kel works. Yeah, don't worry about it. Then they
Because you don't want to get anybody in trouble.
No, because we don't want them to get scared.
Now, do you still, the people the guys that were on your team, in your module, whatever you called it, are you still in touch with them? Do they know you're doing comedy?
Some
They
of
ever
them
come
do,
and
yeah.
see you?
Some of them do, and they do the same thing though. Oh, let me know when you get, and then when you let them know, hey, I'm going to be at this club at 9:00 at night. You want to come down? It's a Thursday. Right. They're not your friends, they're not coming out of the woodwork anymore.
Did you ever go undercover?
Yeah.
You did? How'd that work out?
They did me. I did undercover work. They sent me to, when I first started out, they sent me, they wired me up and they had me work as a decoy prostitute, Operation John, in the Bronx. And then I remember car pulled up and the guy took one look at me. He goes, "I'm not into men."
Oh, I apologize for how great that is.
But what happened?
It wasn't me.
No.
What happened when they sent you undercover into a lesbian bar?
Oh yeah, so we used to have club night to make sure that they weren't doing drugs right in the front. That was the best time. That was the best night at work. They give you $100 flash money. They go inside, and I went inside, and everybody knew me because it was a lesbian bar. I bought them all drinks with the buy money, with flash money.
So you were supposed to go in and make a buy if it was available?
No, what you did really is club night was just, you went in and you went and saw if there was any illicit, you didn't make any arrests or anything. It was all
just having
investigative.
A look.
Yeah, so, but yeah.
Oh, that's great.
Oh yeah.
Did you ever have to work a job or an assignment that you really liked, like maybe the village Halloween?
That was a fun the Halloween parade. That was a lot of fun. And then, so then one time, I didn't think they were looking for me, so I went up on the float, and they get mad at that, The chief, he didn't like that. He didn't like the fishnets, I guess. I had my uniform pants were on, though.
Oh, they were?
Yeah.
Okay. You didn't have the chaps on.
That's such a fantastic crossbreeding,
But can you see how you find your voice in stand-up comedy through reality?
Yeah.
Oh, it's
it's
great.
terrific. Michelle has such a funny stand-up act, and it's based in truth about her life and about being on the NYPD.
There's a guy, I think he's still doing
Mark
pretty well.
DeMeo.
John, the guy from Long Island, John something. I should have known his name. He came on the Start Show like a long time ago, but his sister owns a club. What's the name of the club?
You're not talking about John DeResta?
Yes.
You are talking about John DeResta.
Yeah, good.
Oh, he's terrific. Yeah, absolutely.
His
John
sister
DeResta
owns. It's got the club. It's a restaurant. It's such a weird name. Your other half, or your don't ever get old. I'm a sieve.
John DeResta, it's
familiar.
very few and far between, but there are former police officers who become comedians. Mark DeMeo, Michelle just mentioned, is another very funny.
He's a good guy.
Oh, I don't know
funny
that
guy.
name.
He is.
He's a great guy.
He's a good guy. And do you find that audiences always accept you? Have you ever got any blowback? Are they welcoming to a lesbian comedian talking about the NYPD and talking about issues? I mean, they're pretty
how
well.
could- I
Long
can't-
Island, every
It's
time
so
I've seen
fascinating. I can't see somebody not being totally enthralled with the whole thing.
There's
Right.
a lot of people who don't like cops because
It's cops more than you're being out and everything, right? It's
I think things, it depends. Like, so I don't play that. I just go out and I'm a comedian.
Right.
I happened to be a cop at one point, but I'm a comedian. So,
Yeah.
you know what? I might be the first lesbian. Like, I've done shows in North Carolina,
Yeah.
and Cape Fear in North Carolina.
They have enough problem with you just being from New York. Forget
Right.
about lesbian cop.
Yeah, so you go out there and you're like, you just try to, be the best example. Like, I'm not going to go out there and, say, oh yeah, and then we did this and then we did that. I don't have war. If somebody asks me like a war story, I just say, oh yeah, I got locked up on the roof one time. That's my war story. Like, I'm not going to tell you the good ones.
Well, you have a war story. One time you were sent to a domestic disturbance between two lesbian women.
Yeah.
What happened?
Two women
Wow.
fighting. Yeah, that was
What
cool.
happened?
There was, what happened?
What
Oh,
happened?
yeah, that was cool because I was able to get in the middle. That was fun.
Do you see how, if you're new
So
comedian?
you know her act, so you're walking
I'm
around-
setting it up.
Oh, but that's so funny.
It's so simple. I was able to get in the middle.
That's a great punchline. Because I'm thinking there's a great war story there, but I'm sure there was.
But it's all based in truth. It's all based in. You had to confront a guy who was about to commit suicide, right?
Yes, in Co-op City. You know, those big buildings in Co-op City.
Right.
He was going to jump. It was like a 20-story building. He found out his wife was a lesbian. And I yelled to him, "Don't jump. First, give me your wife's number."
See that? Isn't this great?
Oh, that's great. That's great.
That's great. And you were a trailblazer at the NYPD because there were not many women and not many out lesbians and you made it work.
Do you work any of the police, like, they're always having golf outings and all kinds of events. Do you work any of them?
No.
Because it'd be too weird, or?
It's a little, you know what, it depends what it is. It would depend what it is. Sometimes people, like, when you joke around, like, they think I'm a certain way. And it's like, I'm not that way, you know what I mean? Like, I'm joking right now, yeah, and I was a cop, but I don't think like the way you think I think. So it makes it a little unpleasant. And you have to remember, too, I remember when I...
Because they have certain expectations
Exactly.
that don't fit.
Right. And my team in narcotics in the Bronx consisted of every ethnicity except for Asian, because there was no way. They sent him back to Manhattan. They sent this Asian kid as an undercover. And the chief's like, he's going to get killed the first day. So he had to, he sent him to where he can work. So you have to realize the atmosphere that I worked in. So I take a big offense to when people think that I think the way they might think I think without getting into it. You know what I mean? I get
right.
So I don't like that. I really, really don't. And
certain mentalities people
it's that gang
assume.
mentality, and I don't, So, but like if it's a precinct, like Mark DeMeo does a lot of the clubs, the precinct, the reunions, like that's fun.
Yes, that kind of thing. What assignments? You told me you would be assigned to Yankee Stadium. That can't be too bad, right?
Yeah.
Well, it depends where you are. I mean.
Well, no. So like, what would happen is we were the school team, so we used to work Monday to Friday in the mornings, right? We had to be off the street by 1 o'clock in the afternoon. We would do enforcement around the schools. So then the Yankee game would come on, like the playoffs, right? And so all the inside people would get they would get the field. They would be on the field.
They get the plum assignments.
And we got, busting my ass every day, locking up 15 people for stupid narcotics, right? I don't care if he blows coke all day. I could care less, right? So we are I remember we were up on this building. So we're going on the roof to watch the game because it was a playoff game. We're going on the roof. So my buddy Willie Hayes knocked on somebody's door, and he got a radio. And the super, these kids came in. We were throwing a football with the kids, right? And all of a sudden, IAB came in. And they go, "What are you guys doing in here?"
IAB.
Internal Affairs. Like, you had nothing better to do. It's a Yankee playoff game, right? "What are you guys doing in here? How come you're not up there?" So one of my fellow officers like, "Well, I used to be an undercover. You don't have access. The super's coming down to let us in." Without fail, the supers are your best friends, man. He comes right down. He goes, "I got you guys, no problem." We went up and watched the game, and we had the radio, but we couldn't see it. We could just see the cheers of the crowd. It's like real
that
ghetto.
little tiny, like having the worst seats at the Paramount.
It was like, but it was fun. It was stuff like that. It was fun. But then one time we did have the tunnel. So we were allowed, we did get the good assignment. So those baseball players are huge. Oh my God. And you can't talk to them. And so when they're going through we went out starting
They're huge, plus they're wearing those cleats, which gives them another half inch or three-quarter inch, which is...
Yeah, they're like, ugh. And, that's pretty cool. And you're like, you weren't allowed to look on the field, but you always snow glass,
Did you ever get to work like a Melissa Etheridge concert?
No.
That's probably wrong.
No.
No, but I mean, but most of the time it's tough assignments. I mean,
But you learn how to when we would get sent to Manhattan on some detail. We would be fish out of water because they would put us so far away because we were from the Bronx. They didn't want us anywhere near the parade route.
Right.
So we would just find, we would be like, okay, and we would just, all right. We just made our own little, we didn't care, our own little world. We stood there, all right, yeah, You want us 17 blocks away? No problem. We don't have to be up.
You make your own little party. Or,
Yeah, you make
not that it's a party.
No, but you make your circumstances. You're responsible for your own circumstances.
Make it work for you.
Right. You're going to be miserable. Like I didn't work for the police department. The police department worked for me, because I got to retire and I got to do comedy when I retired.
It wasn't all wonderful in the NYPD. You were injured on the job, right? Really, pretty
Yeah.
bad.
Yeah.
Oh, badly? Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. We were. It was like a very mild night, so there was a lot of people out in the street, and we had a very small field team. Very small field team. We had more undercovers than people that are going to make arrests. So it was a skeleton crew field team, and so I remember I got out of the van and I had the one guy and we cuff him up, and he was kneeling. And I had him kneeling, he was cuffed, and he was good. I had my hand on his shoulder, and I see a guy run, and I see, my another cop running after him, and the sergeant goes, like, you got him? I go, yeah, I got him, and I didn't got him. Man, he went boom, and he just knocked me into a brick wall, and I fractured my neck, so. But we caught him later, so it was all
Yeah,
good.
you caught him later.
They caught him, yeah. He was hiding in they called emergency services to get him out of the closets. And emergency service, dude, they with the big guns, and it was Jose Rodriguez who just looked at him and just opened the door and got him out. Come on, guy, we're gonna have a hostage negotiation. Just grab the guy. They get all amped up, those guys. I hope we edit that part out. I hate those
Now,
ESU
Michelle
guys.
Durante is. I really want you to see her act, because you're going to love.
Number one, I absolutely want to. We never got to ask you if you're any relation to Jimmy.
No, I wish I was.
Is that a common name at all?
You know what? There's a Durante construction company in the Bronx. If you go over on Throgs Neck Bridge, and you see them out here on Long Island. Other than that, I don't know.
And we love them. We love their whole.
Their
family.
horn goes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, Jackie and I will come and watch you, and we'll both laugh. Now you.
I will decide if I'm going to laugh, but I know I will. And you are a delight.
Thank you.
Didn't a female? I'm setting her up. Didn't another female officer lodge a complaint against you?
Oh, yeah.
Because you were kind of watching her in the showers?
Yeah, I was staring at it too much in the shower.
Yeah, but it was your fault, right?
Because I brought the beach chair in.
Isn't that great?
You know who I did work
That
with?
doesn't need anything.
No, I know.
Oh, I thought you said you had a setup that needed that.
No, that's the joke. Maybe I shouldn't have brought the beach chair. Go ahead, what?
I did work with Carol Shire.
Carol Shire. Who is that? Explain to everybody.
She posed for...
What was her slug? The Playboy cop.
She posed for Playboy, and I'll never forget, and she never told anybody in the precinct, right? And so the lieutenant, what an idiot. So he's like, let's
She didn't tell anybody she was doing it, so nobody knew until...
The department knew because she said she was filling out paperwork for modeling. And her lawyers, they didn't say, she used NYPD stuff. She had the regular police logo, and you have to get permission for that, right? So that night when that issue came out, there was so many 9/11 calls, and then like me and my partner would show up, and they'd be like, oh, like they'd be all disappointed. So the lieutenant drove her around that night. Pervert.
She came on the Stern show, and I think she got in trouble, and I'm sure she was represented by Dominic Barbara.
Then she was represented for something else, though. But she had another lawyer.
He always stuck his
the
nose
lawyer
in somewhere.
said, he goes, no, we did put it in there, and it was a French word for in the nude. And so they go, yeah, but she was, we don't care that she's naked, but she's wearing our patches and stuff. we gotta get money for that. We need money. You know?
Michelle Durante, terrific comedian. Thank you for your service to the NYPD, and good pal of mine. Michelle Durante.
And now good pal of
Thank
mine.
you.
And now good
Appreciate
pal
that.
of Jackie Martling, and I am Peter Bales. And this has been Stand Up Memories. Thank you so much.
Season 3 winding down.
That's right.
Thank you, Peter.
Thank you, Jackie.
Thank you, Michelle.
Thank you, guys.
That was a pretty good episode.
A new episode every Wednesday with me, Peter Bales, Jackie the Joke Man Martling, comedians, interesting people. Leave a comment. We're gonna get. What am I saying?
I don't know.
We're gonna get back to you. We will respond to your comment.
Standupmemories.com. If you go there, it shows all the different
All
platforms.
Spotify. We're on everything.
Every Wednesday.
Stand Up Memories.
Every Wednesday.
A new episode.